Going live in 30 seconds. Five, four, three. All right, good morning, members. 9:15, Monday, November 16th. Looking at SPY, we are in a predefined range. We've got that 100 period moving average support of 202.28, which we are currently losing, and the 200 period resistance 202.85. If we open below 202.43, it will be a 3-gap down bullish reversal pattern. That does not mean we're going to bounce today. That means we will be watching for the bounce to take place, and it could still have a bearish day today, and then a green candlestick tomorrow would still confirm this bullish gap down pattern. On the end of the day, Friday, SPY hit a low of 276, so that will be a target we look at. Currently about $1.50 above that level. Need to get right into it as we have a lot of tickers to cover here. Let's start off with TVIX, or actually let's start off with WIN. So WIN has the 20 period moving average support of 61.93, the 100 period resistance of 62.76. The 200 period resistance is up at 64.29. On Friday we had a low of the day at 62.05, so we're going to open right about that low. If we lose 62.05, we'll be looking at 60.86 as support, and if that is lost, there is some significant downside for WIN before the next level of support. Let's check out Apple now. Apple has all moving averages as resistance. The 20 period is 111.16. The major 100 period is 111.70, and we hit a low pre-market of 109.99. So 110 is going to be psychological support. Apple has been down 7 of the last 8 days and will be a prime candidate for a bounce if we do see the markets confirm this bullish reversal 3-gap down pattern. I'm looking at support of 110 psychological on the daily chart, and after that 106.85, but I think we will see a bounce before those levels are reached. We will keep our eye on that 110 double bottom. I'm going to check MU in text for any. So bear with me while I write this out for him. Not all members can get on the live webcam because some are being naughty at work. So MU has $15 moving average resistance. Support from the low of the day Friday is 14.86, and on bounce watch after 14.86, we're looking at 13.92. Alright, so let's look at TVIX. TVIX had a very bullish 3 days as the markets pulled back hard, and now we are seeing it turn this 100 period moving average into support. That's a bullish development. We bounced off this 200 period support of $8, and we now are holding 8.23 support. The high pre-market was 8.34. We'll see if we can break that. A little bit overbought for TVIX on the daily chart as we are extended pretty far above the upper Bollinger Band. But it's going to keep going up as long as SPY keeps dropping. Keep in mind, though, with this bullish 3-gap down reversal pattern for SPY, that TVIX is due for a pullback in the near future. So let's look at some of the others on the list. BBRY. Did a video on this one over the weekend as well. Not much pre-market action. 100 period moving average resistance is 730, 200 period resistance is 740, and the 20 period support is 720. All nice round numbers there. And for more details looking at the daily and weekly chart, check out the video I did over the weekend on it. Don't want to waste time covering the same stuff. FCX. This is one I've got on my list. I'm watching 860 support. We have the 100 period support of 871 here on the 5-minute chart, and the 200 period resistance is 876. So a pretty clearly defined tight channel here. We'll see a break most likely before the bell, and watching very closely for FCX to see some bounce unfold. Facebook also dropping with the market. 100 period moving average resistance is 103.85, 20 period is 103.90, and the 200 period is up at 104.96. For most of these stocks and SPY, we're going to keep using the 100 period moving average resistance as a gauge of strength. I've been calling it that all last week, and that is because every time the market tries to get above it, it is rejected from it and maintains resistance. So the fact that we just lost it for SPY here pre-market is indicative that we could see some more weakness. 202.28 is that level. Once it is turned into support, it will be the first time in the past multiple days, at least 3 or 4 days. So that is the gauge of strength, and it will be the case for most other stocks that do follow the market, like Facebook, Apple, Netflix, all of those names. So Facebook on the daily chart, middle Bollinger Band 103.70 is key support, looking like we could gap down, as the low of the day Friday was 103.83. And looking at psychological 100 support, as well as 101.18 if we do continue this downtrend for Facebook. NUGT, we are watching gold for a bounce. We had a higher high on the hourly chart for the first time in a long time, but quickly pulled back from that bounce. We are watching. It will be a very bullish development once 1094 turns into support for gold. We are currently at 1085. We did break 1094 a few hours ago, but did not maintain that level. So we're watching for an NUGT, this 100 period moving average support of 25.97. 20 period resistance is 26.44. And then we also have the 200 period support at 25.49. NUGT is shaping up. The daily chart is finding a little bit of support around the mid $24, $25 range, and 26 is resistance. Once we get a close above 26, we'll be looking at the 10-day moving average resistance, currently 28.27, but always watching gold in relation to NUGT. Netflix and FLX also losing its gauge of strength, the 100 period moving average resistance, currently 103.25, 20 period resistance 103.36, and then the 200 period all the way up at 105.04. We've been in such a strong downtrend the past 3 or 4 days that the 200 period moving average resistances haven't even been tested on most of these charts we're looking at on the 5-minute time frame. So keep those in mind. Once those are support, it will be definitely a more bullish signal for a bounce and a bullish trend after this sell-off. So Netflix, the low of Friday was 103.27. Looks like we're setting up for a gap down. Next support we're looking at is psychological 100 even, and I'm also looking at 102.50 as a level of psychological support. So if we lose 102.50, 100 will be the target for Netflix. But again, expecting a bounce either to formulate after this morning into the afternoon or tomorrow. We are going to be watching closely, looking for confirmation of this bullish 3-gap down reversal pattern. Save, not much pre-market action, all moving averages resistance. 33.68 is the 20 period, 100 period is 33.88, and then 34.30 is the 200 period. Checking the daily chart for Save. And a bullish reversal hammer formed on Friday. The low was 33.13, so looking like we could see a little gap down here as well. Waiting for support to be found, and it has not happened yet, especially if we set a lower low. Watch for a higher high to form. The last time that happened was about 6 days ago. So feel free now, we've got 6 minutes until the open, throw a few more tickers at my way. It helps rather than having me scroll back and see what was said before the live audio started. Thank you. Suni. So we saw 503. I was watching 503 played around with here pre-market, and of course we knocked back from that resistance. So we're going to open right around where we closed, but that is going to be under 100 period moving average resistance of 497. Also, the 20 period is 501, and then we're always watching that 503 level until 503 is closed above on the daily chart. Suni is going to be just for flipping, in my opinion. 200 period major moving average support is 483. The bulls want to see that level hold as long as possible, and we will be looking for a break of 517, the high from Friday. Amazon, 2 bearish days the previous days. All moving averages resistance again. 20 period is 641.96. 100 period is 643.55. The high we hit pre-market was up at 644.83, and we're currently right above the lows of pre-market. So looking for a break of the low from yesterday to indicate more downside. That low was 640.45, so looking like we're going to see a little gap down, and support is going to be now the middle Bollinger Band of 622.40. So a lot of downside for Amazon if we are unable to regain this gauge of strength, the 100 period moving average resistance 643.55. NVCR. Not much going on pre-market here. We've got the 100 period at 22.82, 200 period at 22.62. Checking the daily chart for NVCR. Recent IPO consolidation pattern. We have a higher low on the daily chart, and now we're working on, we actually have 2 lower highs and now 3 higher lows. So tightening range, and should see a break from that range, but looks like we could be in this consolidation pattern for quite some time. Currently we have support of 21.50 and resistance of 26.85. So still a wide range there. Middle Bollinger Band resistance 23.04. 10-day moving average resistance 24.49. Let's see Tesla. All moving averages as resistance. As we see markets down, all stocks are doing the same thing. 20 period moving average resistance 207.12. 100 period 208.09. Don't even need to mention the 200 period because it hasn't been tested in quite some time. A lot of red the past 5 days off of the 200-day moving average resistance rejection 5 days ago. The low of Friday 206.52. Gap down currently. Support is 203.89. And then 202 even. If we lose 202 even, there's going to be a lot of downside to Tesla. So keep your eye on 202. Baba, same deal. All moving averages resistance 75.83 is the 20 period, and the gauge of strength is 76.03, the 100 period moving average on the 5-minute chart. Checking the daily for Baba, we have lost the 200-day moving average, the middle Bollinger Band support. So now we find ourselves looking at the 100-day moving average of 73.74. The low of Friday was 75.64. So currently right at that level, might not see a gap down open for Baba, and we'll see if that support level of 75.64 can hold. If not, 100-day moving average 73.74. So we've got the open in 2 minutes here. Let's check back in on SPY related to this 100 period moving average resistance. We are back testing it right now as it failed as support. 202.28 is that level, and increasing bullish volume. But if we get rejected from this level and then set a low below 202.04 first thing in the morning, it's going to signal more downside for SPY. Keep that 202.04 in mind. So 2 minutes into the open, I have a whole bunch of oversold stocks I'm going to be watching for bounces. ZX, VRX, GoPro. We're seeing UGAZ pulling back a little bit. The high of the day resistance from Friday is 386. NUGT is above 26 and looking good. I think NUGT is going to be in play today. Gold has pulled back, but I expect it to bounce slightly in the near future, as we have seen a very red previous 2 hours. And as I say that, we see a lower wick forming on the hourly chart for gold. So we'll see. I would wait for NUGT to see if we can hold this 25.98 support and break above the 20 period moving average resistance and turn that into support. That would be a go sign for the bulls on NUGT. So 1 minute until the open. It's going to be fast-paced to start, I have the feeling, but it will settle down after an hour and we'll see what kind of bullish plays are developing and if we're going to get this bullish Sunni range. Most important is 503. Need to turn that into support. I'll hop right back in on the 5-minute chart. 100 period resistance is 497. 200 period support is 483. 20 period resistance 501. So we had SUNY open at SPY open at 202.32, which was a gap down by a penny. Still counts as a gap down, so we'll be watching for bullish signs to develop. And step one of the bullish sign will be this 100 period turning into support. That level 202.28. It'll be very telling here first thing in the morning. X, we're looking for a break of 994. Z, I'm watching for support of 23 to be found. And BRX, a break of 76.30 would be bullish, as we have GoPro setting new lows. GoPro $20 even psychological support may be the level for a bounce. Here's NUGT. Again, watching that 20 period moving average resistance to turn into support. Nice bounce off the 100 period so far. Here's that test of 26.39. As we watch SUNY try and break $5 psychological resistance. So lots of back and forth for SPY off of this 100 period moving average resistance, heading up towards the high of the day. Just set it by a penny, and we'll be watching if SPY turns this 200 period moving average resistance into support of 202.81. We will be looking for bullish plays. Until that happens, we are going to keep our bearish stance. In terms of the live feed, there is no dropped frames on my end, which is usually indicative of internet speed troubles. So it's on the user's end in terms of using this YouTube for our new platform. But if it doesn't work for multiple people, we'll switch back, and that's just going to be at the detriment of people trying to use it on their cell phones. So SUNY breaking out here. Watching for the high of the day yesterday to break. The high of the day Friday, that is. And that level is 517. So 517 break would be very bullish for SUNY. And a close above 503 would be bullish as well. The high pre-market was 520. Checking the daily chart of Dow for support. So the daily chart for Dow, we're seeing support. The 100-day moving average support is 46.05. And I'm also seeing support at 47.11. AAL support. 100-day moving average support of 41.84. Currently a bullish reversal candle forming off of that, but obviously very early in the day. So SUNY support on this pullback is 501. And watching NUGT to turn that 26.38 into support. So SPY is bullish. And here comes the test of the 200 period moving average resistance of 202.81, turning that into support. Again, we'll have us shifting from bearish back to bullish and looking for bounces in the market. Apple testing its gauge of strength, the 100 period moving average resistance of 111.67. Turning that into support could be some nice upside, as Apple is one of the more oversold in terms of this pullback we've seen last week. BBRY turned its 100 period into support of 730. That's a good sign. Now we're in a clearly defined channel, 730 support, 740 resistance. TVIX is going to pull back as long as SPY is bullish, and SPY is definitely looking good here to start the day. 200 period resistance for TVIX is 8. Let's see here, 200 period, 801. Support is the low of pre-market, 785. But again, SPY is looking good here, and we're going to be looking bullish very soon if we can close above 202.81 and keep this uptrend going for SPY. X is looking good. Again, 994 was the level we were watching to break. We just hit 993. Nice follow through from Friday's bullish day. We had a bullish reversal doji Friday. As we see, SPY is now breaking out pretty good. So we're on the verge of switching to bullish here and looking at these stocks for bounces. Apple is one of them. Let's see how Netflix is doing. Also breaking out to the upside with the market. 200 period moving average, trying to turn that into support at 105. GoPro looking good as well. Nice bullish start. Support is 21.18, resistance 21.79. So we'll see 21.79 is resistance for GoPro. We'll be watching closely. FOSL was very oversold on Friday. We're trying to hold this 100 period moving average support of 32.45. We've held it for the past 2 candlesticks. Could be providing entry right now. And a break of 32 would be a stop loss for FOSL. NUGT looking good. Keep in mind that a bullish market is going to help NUGT just as much as a gold bounce would. So this is the bullish action we are seeing after 3 gap downs on SPY. Looking like we're turning this 200 period moving average into support of 202.81. This candlestick does close in a little over 2 minutes, so we'll watch closely as Sunni is testing the high of Friday, 517. Just pulled back from there. We need to break it and continue upwards. There's X breaking out as well. Now we're at $10 psychological resistance. Great follow through from Friday's bullish reversal candlestick. SCTY, a bullish start as well. So clearly the trend this morning is bullish. Very strong showing in SPY. We will be looking for a back test of this support, the 200 period of 202.81. NUGT, a close over 26.37 is bullish. We have set a higher high here compared with the most recent high of pre-market, and looking for a break of 26.80 to show a lot of strength in NUGT. So keep in mind Sunni does have a double top at 517 right now. X is looking wonderful. Need to look at the daily chart for resistance levels there. Currently confirming the bullish reversal doji seen yesterday, or Friday, I keep saying yesterday, and watching for $10 to hold, which it just was lost. After 10.06 resistance, looking at 10.20. So Sunni pulling back from that double top on the daily. Support is going to be the 20 period moving average of 501. TTPH watching for a break of 1109, the high from Friday. SPY is at the high of the day, as NUGT continuing to look strong. RSI on the 5 minute for SPY is 66, so still a little bit of room to go. Z is at the high of the day as well, bouncing off 2316. 100 period moving average support of 2340. And NUGT is looking good, as is X with a bullish market. Very strong move here for SPY, expecting some consolidation in the near term. Want to see a back test of this 200 period support to show some strength there. tempted to get in NUGT, but I want to see things settle down a little bit. I see a bunch of direct messages. I will get to them once the live broadcast is over. PBYI low of support is 70.70, and then we have a consolidation, the first three candlesticks of lower highs and higher lows. So a break of 71 would be bearish, and a break of 71.70 would be bullish. X, new high of day, watching 1020 resistance there. PBYI needs to bounce off of 70.39. That's a must-hold support level. So we're seeing a very strong bounce here in the markets. Nice trade on Netflix. As we can see, all the big names are following the market up. Apple testing its 200 period resistance on the 5-minute chart, 112.61. I would wait for SPY to consolidate after such a strong move here first thing. RSI is 71 on the 5-minute chart. We'll see if we can get entry here, either off the 200 period moving average support of 202.80 or the 20 period, which is quickly trying to catch up, 202.66. X looking great. Nike NKE trying to hold its 100 period moving average support of 122.02. That's going to be a key level. Not seeing all of the bullish activity that many other stocks are seeing for NKE. Checking the daily chart. And NKE, the low of Friday is 121.15, so we do have a higher low. Resistance is going to be the lower Bollinger Band, 129.88, but needs to maintain that 100 period support on the 5-minute chart. So make note, if Amazon is red and the markets are doing so well, that is definitely a sign of weakness. Here's Sunni testing that $5 support, needs to hold. FL 20 period resistance of 57.97, 100 period resistance 58.66. Lots of work to do to turn those moving averages into support. So here's SPY pulling back. HAL, H-A-L. 200 period moving average support is 37.57, 20 period support 37.53, and seeing now, I would expect across the board we're seeing some bearish reversal candlesticks off of this consolidation after a very quick bullish start. So there's Apple, bearish reversal candlestick forming off 200 period resistance. Netflix had a red candlestick. There's Facebook losing 100 period support, big red candlestick. So here is the consolidation. And looking for entry potentially on SPY after we do consolidate. NUGT, seeing the same thing. This may be an opportunity for entry as we wait for things to cool off a little bit. As long as we can hold the key levels of support, we should see some continuation. So SPY has a long way it could drop before we do lose these moving average supports. This is a bearish reversal candlestick forming. So bearish reversal candlestick forming on SPY. This closes in less than 1 minute, and we'll be looking for some continued pullback. 4-period exponential moving average supports all the way down at 203.12. Sunni did hold $5 support. That's a good sign for the bulls of Sunni. So patiently waiting now for SPY to consolidate. Things are cooling off a little bit. 15 minutes into the trading day. X is still looking wonderful. 1020 is resistance there. Z looking great as well. Nice follow through. 23 support held nicely. Now we're looking at 200 period moving average support on the 5 minute. 23.78 to hold. So we're going to try and switch this live now so everybody can get in. Clearly YouTube is not a good provider here. So bear with us while we switch this over. As we wait for SPY to consolidate, if we see SPY break the high of the day, it will indicate continuation. So I'm going to cut the broadcast here for a second, switch back to our old platform, and be right back.